Hello there. Hello? Hello? Oh, hi. How are you? Are you excited? I'm excited. Do you know who that is? The empty box? Oh, okay. Well, just checking. I hope it's someone new. I love meeting new people. You? Oh, well, you should. These things are great. Well, they can be, I guess. Oh, phew, another person. Hello there.
Hi. Thank you for being on time.
Oh, I was early, actually.
Cool. Hello. Where's everyone else?
Oh, are there more people coming?
Did you not read your script?
Script?
Seriously? Didn't you get the script? What about the empty box?
We don't know who that is.
Okay, whatever. Hang on. I'm going to email it again.
Oh.
Hello, welcome.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, we can't hear you. You're on mute. Hello to you, new person. Ooh, I like that. Thanks so much, and right back at you.
Okay. Well, I don't know what happened there. Something seems to have eaten my email to all of you.
Mercury's in retrograde.
Ooh, that sounds exciting.
Okay. Well, whatever. Did you all get my email now?
No.
Seriously? Okay. Well then, I guess can everyone get their Bible?
Which translation? I have so many.
Oh, let's try King James.
The language is a bit old-timey.
Yeah. Yes.
Ooh, that one is good.
I miss the Majesty though.
May we please embrace something a little more inclusive?
What do you suggest?
That one is yes.
That one's great.
I really don't have that many options in hard copy.
Some people have said that the NIV is not rooted enough in the original Hebrew and Greek. Do you find that to be the case?
I mean, I find it that yes, it is lacking in depth in places. I totally agree with that. And it also kind of lacks the poetry that you have in the other translations.
Share your screen. Just share your screen.
Oh, right. Thank you. That is a great idea. That way we can actually use my script. Are you all seeing this? Great. Okay. So I've broken out the text into different characters, and
We get to choose which part we get to play?
Well, I had thought that we would
Well,
actually,
I just want to say that I was Mary Magdalene last year, and I feel like it's time for me to expand my repertoire. And I was hoping that maybe I could try Pontius Pilate.
I think that could get a little confusing.
Why? Oh, because I'm a woman.
No, because wait, we're all women. All of us. It's because I had you playing Caiaphas.
I don't feel like that's a right fit for me.
What if the person in the empty box showed up? They could play Caiaphas.
Yeah.
Look, I had this all organized, so I'd really appreciate it if we could just, stick to the... No, you cannot.
Why can't she play Jesus?
It's not personal. No one's playing Jesus.
You want to do a passion play without Jesus?
I don't think that's going to work.
Definitely not going to work.
I'm not saying that there won't be a Jesus. I'm just saying that no one will be here embodying Jesus.
Why not?
Isn't the whole point that Jesus is embodiment?
Oh, well, not the whole point.
Look, I just think it's weird to have an actual person play Jesus.
But he was an actual person.
I know that. I don't know. What just happened?
What was that?
I don't know, but I felt it in my throat chakra.
My script is gone.
See? Should have let her play Jesus.
Will you stop?
I'm telling you, Mercury is in serious retrograde.
What's the difference between retrograde and serious
Can
retrograde?
you all stop? Please? Sorry. I'm just really, we have to do this. Like, we have to put together the passion play, and I've worked for weeks on this script, and I hate technology. God.
It's so much easier when we could just be in person and pass around a Bible.
Yeah, I know. There's just such great wisdom in simple human presence.
Oh, come on. That's not what we did. Even when we could be together in person, it was never enough. We had to have all the bells and whistles and the candles and the incense and the fancy programs and the
What's wrong with the bells and whistles?
nothing. I'm just saying
There
that
is something about creating a space that is, that makes us go
I'm
to
not
a
saying we
contemplative.
should create a space. I'm just saying that
Bells and whistles are beautiful, okay?
Oh dear.
my point is that we pretend that it's about being together and just experiencing the word, but really it's become about being entertained and like
And we're hypocrites. We're hypocrites? Is that what you're saying?
Is that what you're saying?
no. Well, yes. I mean, I wouldn't use that word. I would just
Who invited you?
Okay,
How
no,
do you even get to this group? Like, do you even know what it's like? Like, why are you here? Ever since you've been here, all you do is nag, 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 and you just sit there and be little mopey and with your mouth off.
person.
Are you all saying? Should we just read?
Yeah. Jesus and his disciples went to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to his disciples, "You all sit here while I pray." He took with him Peter and James and John and began to be deeply moved and distressed, and said to them, "My soul is deeply grieved to the point of death. You all stay here and stay awake." And going a little farther, he threw himself on the ground and prayed that if possible, the hour might pass for him. He said, "Abba, my God, all things are possible for you. Remove this cup from me, yet not what I want, but what you do." Jesus came and found them sleeping and said to Peter, "Simon, are you sleeping? Could you not stay awake 1 hour? Stay awake and pray that you all may not come into the time of trial. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak." And again he went away and prayed, saying the same thing. And once more he came and found them sleeping, for their eyes were very heavy, and they did not know what to say to him. Jesus came a third time and said to them, "Are you all sleeping still and not taking your rest? And taking your rest? Enough! The hour has come. Look, the Son of Woman is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Get up, let us go. See, my betrayer is at hand."
And instantly, while he was speaking, Judas, one of the 12, arrived. With him there was a crowd with swords and clubs from the chief priests, the religious scholars, and the elders. Now the betrayer had given them a sign, saying, "The one I kiss is he. Seize him and lead him away safely." Then when Judas came, he went up to Jesus immediately and said, "Rabbi," and kissed him. And they laid hands on him and took him. But one of the bystanders drew his sword and struck the slave of the high priest and cut off his ear. Then Jesus said to them, "Is it as for a bandit you have all come out with swords and clubs to seize me? Daily I was with you all in the temple teaching, and you did not seize me. But let the scriptures be fulfilled." All of them deserted him and fled. A certain young man was following Jesus with just a fine cloth on his naked flesh. They caught hold of him, but he forsook the fine cloth and ran off naked.
They took Jesus to the high priest, and they assembled all the chief priests, the elders, and the religious scholars. Now Peter followed him from afar into the courtyard of the high priest and was sitting with the attendants, warming himself at the fire. Now the chief priests and the whole council sought testimony against Jesus to put him to death, but found none. For many gave false testimony against him, yet their testimony did not agree. Some rose and gave false testimony against him, saying, "Well, we heard him say, 'I will destroy this handmade temple, and in 3 days I will build another that is not handmade.'" But even on this point, their testimony did not agree. Then the high priest stood up before them and said to Jesus, "No response? What are they testifying against you?" But he was silent and answered nothing. Again, the high priest spoke to him, "Are you the Messiah, the Son of the Blessed One?" Jesus said, "I am, and you will see the Son of Woman seated at the right hand of the power and coming with the clouds of heaven." Then the high priest tore his clothes and said, "Why do we still need witnesses? You all have heard his blasphemy. How does it appear to you?" All of them condemned him, "Guilty, this is death." Some began to spit on him, to blindfold him, and to strike him, saying to him, "Prophesy." Then the attendants took him and beat him.
While Peter was below in the courtyard, one of the high priest's enslaved girls came by. When she saw Peter warming himself, she stared at him and said, "You are also with the Nazarene Jesus." But Peter denied it, saying, "I do not know or even understand what you are saying." Then he went out into the front courtyard. Then the cock crowed. And the enslaved girl, on seeing him, began to say to the bystanders again that this man is one of them. But again he denied it. Then after a little while the bystanders said to Peter again, "Certainly you are one of them, for you are Galilean." But he began to curse and swore, "I do not know this person you are talking about." And suddenly the cock crowed for the second time. Then Peter remembered the thing Jesus had said to him, "Before the cock crows twice, you will deny me 3 times." He threw himself down and sobbed.
As soon as it was morning, the chief priests took a counsel with the elders and religious scholars and the whole council. They bound Jesus, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate. Pilate asked him, "Are you the king of the Judeans?" He answered him, saying, "You say so." Then the chief priests accused him of many things. But Pilate asked him again, "Have you no reply? See how many charges they bring against you." But Jesus made no further reply. Thus Pilate was amazed. Now at the festival, Pilate used to release one prisoner to them, whoever they asked. Now there was a man called Barabbas in the prison with the rebels, who in the rebellion had committed murder. So the crowd came and began to ask Pilate to do for them according to his custom. Then he responded to them, saying, "Do you all want me to release the king of the Judeans to you?" For he recognized that it was out of jealousy that the chief priests had handed him over. Then the chief priests stirred up the crowd, that instead Barabbas might be released for them. Pilate again responded to them, "What then do you wish for me to do with the one you call the king of the Judeans?" They shouted more than before, "Crucify him!" Pilate asked them, "For why? For doing what evil?" But they all shouted all the more, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" So Pilate, wanting to satiate the crowd, released Barabbas to them. Then he handed over Jesus for flogging and to be crucified.
And the soldiers led him into the courtyard of the property, which is the military headquarters, and they called together the entire cohort. And they clothed him in purple, and they put on him thorns woven into a crown. And they began saluting him, "Hail, King of the Judeans!" They struck his head with a reed, spat upon him, and knelt in homage to him. After mocking him, they stripped him of the purple and put his clothes on him, and they led him away to crucify him. They compelled a passerby, a certain Simon of Cyrene, who was coming from the countryside to carry his cross. He was the father of Alexander and Rufus. Then they brought Jesus to the Golgotha place, which means skull place, and they offered him myrrh wine, but he did not take it. And they crucified him, and divided his clothes, and casting lots among themselves for what each would take.
It was the 3rd hour past dawn when they crucified him. The writing above the accusation against him read, "The King of the Judeans." And with him they crucified 2 revolutionaries, one on his right and one on his left. The passers-by reviled him, shaking their heads and saying, Ha, you would destroy the temple and build it in 3 days? Save yourself and come down from the cross. In the same way, the chief priests with the religious scholars mocked him among themselves and said, he saved others, himself he is unable to save. The Messiah, the King of Israel. Come down from the cross now that we may see and believe. Those who were crucified with him also demeaned him.
Now, when it was the 6th hour of the day, or noon, darkness came over the whole land until the 9th hour of the day, about 3 in the afternoon. At the 9th hour, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? When some of the bystanders heard it, they said, listen, he is calling Elijah. And someone ran and filled a sponge with vinegary wine, put it on a stick, and gave it to him to drink, saying, wait, let us see whether Elijah will come to take him down. Then Jesus gave a great cry. Then Jesus gave a great cry. And breathed out for a final time.
And the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. Now, when the centurion stationed facing him saw that in this way Jesus breathed out at the end, he said, truly, this man was God's own. There were also women watching from a distance. Among them were Mary the Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James the younger and of Joseph and Salome. These women followed him and ministered to him when he was in Galilee, and there were many other women who had come along with him to Jerusalem.
When evening had come, since it was the day of preparation, the day before the Sabbath, Joseph of Arimathea, a respected member of the council, who himself was also waiting for the reign of God, went boldly to Pilate and requested for the body of Jesus.
Then Pilate wondered that Jesus was now dead, and summoning the centurion asked him whether he had been dead for some time. When he learned it from the centurion, he gave the corpse to Joseph.
Then Joseph bought a fine cloth, and taking him down, wrapped him in the fine cloth, and put him in a tomb that had been hewn out of rock. He then rolled a stone against the door of the tomb.
Mary the Magdalene and Mary, the mother of Joseph, saw where he was put.
The Gospel of the Savior.